Game 1 is in the books, and the 76ers take down the Raptors by 20 points in a pretty disastrous night for the Raptors. We're going to break down everything you need to know about this game and the rest of the series in tonight's post-game show. Welcome NBA and Raptors fans to tonight's post-game show on Amateur Hour Clips, where we give you a post-game show for every single Raptors game and especially for the playoffs as well. So if you want the best Raptors post-game show on YouTube, then you got to be subscribed to Amateur Hour Clips, and also make sure you are signed up to BetStamp. They sponsored this video, but BetStamp, they're not in the business to take your money. They want to help you make money. It's not your average betting site. It's not a betting site at all. It is an affiliate that shows you the best spot to place that sports wager that you are going to bet anyways to maximize your profits. And you can sign up with the link in the description or download the app and use code RAPS on sign up to let them know that I send you there and start earning that extra money you deserve when you're betting. But let's break down game 1 here. So, bit of a disaster. Thankfully, we do win our lock of the day, powered by BetStamp, but the Raptors lose by 20 here. 131 to 111. And in fact, the Raptors lost every single quarter in this game. Yeah, it was a rough night. And I've talked about all week on my main YouTube channel, Amateur Hour Sports, that if the Raptors want to win this series, they're going to have to do it by, first of all, you got to win the possession battle. They didn't do that today. They did not execute in that situation. Credit to Philly. They made it a big deal to crash the defensive glass. They showed it all game. Second thing we had to do was win the minutes when Embiid were not on the floor. I felt like we were decent, but not good enough in those situations. And the third thing that we need in this series is Siakam to be that guy. And honestly, despite the 20-point loss, it's safe to say Siakam was that guy tonight with 24 points on 50% shooting. But it wasn't necessarily enough for the Raptors here. And, you know, we score 111. That's pretty good for a playoff game. We allow 131. And by the end of the third quarter, they had 107. It was a disaster. I thought the second half was actually decent for the Raptors. You know, we had some fight backs. We did get it to 81-70 at one point, but ultimately this game was lost in the first half, specifically the second quarter, where the Raptors were flat. The usual things they do to get extra possessions weren't happening. We weren't getting those offensive rebounds, and we weren't getting those turnovers, forcing those turnovers that we usually do. And Philly beat us up as a result. Down by 18.5, 69-51. Like, there wasn't one good thing about that first half. There wasn't one thing in that first half that I could pinpoint and say went well. Second half, Siakam had a really good half. Fred, other than fouling out, had a pretty good half. OG had 20 points, decent game for him. Gary Trent was awful tonight. Chua wasn't at his best. Boucher was in foul trouble, didn't get a ton of minutes. And possibly the worst thing to happen tonight is Scottie Barnes appears to have horribly sprained his ankle. Embiid, 7 feet tall, 280 pounds, completely accidentally stomps on Siakam's ankle. And I think we just got to kind of pray that Barnes plays again series. But let's go into a little bit about what made this game what it was. So starting with the Toronto Raptors in this situation, Siakam has a great game. 24 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 9 for 18 from the field. As far as the scoring goes, if Siakam gets 9 for 18 with a 24 points every game, I'll take that. Would like the rebounding to go up because he's been so good at that this season, but I do like the 7 assists. Scottie Barnes was great until he got injured. 15 points, 10 rebounds. OG was great. Van Vliet was great. Gary Trent, pretty pathetic, quite honestly. They missed some of the shots he was missing, and we need him to step up to give us that floor spacing we require big time. Bench doesn't give us a lot, but another positive we can take, if we look at Philly, like, we kept Embiid to 19 points on 5 for 15 shooting. We kept Harden to 22 points on 6 for 17 shooting. I would full screen for this. I would take that every single game from Embiid and Harden. I would take that every single game. We did a great job on Embiid and Harden. The way Nick Nurse runs his defenses, I support this. Not going to let the superstars beat you. What happens when it's a non-superstar that beats you? And in this case, it was Tyrese Maxey, who had 19 third quarter points for 38 points, 14 for 21 shooting. Killed us. Tobias Harris, not the usual strongest corner in the playoffs, 26 points. Killed us. Corner threes, killed us. It is what it is. Maxey beat us here. It was the Therese Maxey show for the 76ers. The Raptors weren't going to let Embiid and Harden beat us. They were going to let Maxey beat us, and he flat out did. And enough to win it by 20 points. Possession battle was rough. I usually look at the field goal attempts. Raptors took 82 shots. Sixers took 84, which, you know, typically the Raptors win the possession battle. And I said in my videos this week that if the Raptors don't win the possession battle, they're going to struggle to win any game where that's the case. Field goal percentages were fine. We shot 49% from the field and 4% from three. I'll take that every single game. They shot even better. The defense was rough, and it shows with the 131 points. Rebounding, we got out-rebounded, which, you know, we're the second best offensive rebounding team in the league behind Memphis. It wasn't there tonight. It wasn't there tonight, and the turnovers weren't there tonight. We turned it over 8 times. They only turned it over 4 times, and in fact had turned it over 0 times at half. Raptors need to win the possession battle, win the Embiid bench minutes, and Siakam's got to be that guy. If we don't have all 3 of those, we're going to struggle to win games in this series, and I mean, we big time struggled tonight, losing by 20 points here. So I have the Raptors winning this series in 7. It doesn't shock me. We lost game 1. The performance in the first half was just diabolical. I mean, the offensive rebounds we allowed were just ridiculous at times. They beat us up on the glass in the first half, and it showed. They won the first quarter by 8. They won the second quarter by 10. And they won the third and fourth quarter by 1 each. But that first half killed the game for the Raptors. And Billy didn't need to do anything spectacular second half to see out the victory here. And come away with a 1-0 series lead. But the good news is you lose game 1 by 20 points. You lose game 1 by 50 points. Or you lose game 1 by 1 point. At the end of the day, the series is 1-0. I think despite no positives to be taken away from the first half, there are positives to be taken away from the second half. And hopefully we can bring that into the next game. Game 2 is big. It's not everything, but you don't want to go down to a 2-0 hole in the series when you're the underdog like this. So big game coming up. Let's rest up. Let's be better in that game. Got to give credit to Philly. They were lights out shooting all night. When Embiid and Harden weren't doing it, other sources did it, like Harris and Maxey, as I mentioned. And flat out, Maxey was talking about earlier in the week that, you know, they know the Raptors want to dominate the glass. They know that's what they want to do. Everybody knows that. It's easier said than done. But I credit the 76ers, who typically don't have the greatest mental resolve. I credit the 76ers for, like, especially first half. If the Raptors put up a shot, 5 guys crashed that defensive glass to make sure no offensive rebounds were had to the Raptors. And dominating the possession battle got them out to that big lead. So credit to 76ers. They knew the game plan they needed to execute to win this game. They did it. Spot on from Rivers, spot on from the Sixers, but it is only 1 game. We'll be back for game 2. Thank you so much for watching this post-game show. For the best post-game show on YouTube for every Raptors game, you gotta be subscribed to Amateur Hour Clips. Make sure you sign up to BetStamp with code RAPS. Start getting the most out of your sports wagers. It's not a betting site. It tells you which betting site has the best odds for the wager you were gonna place anyway. Join our Discord. Links in the description for everything to continue the conversation beyond just the videos. I'll have a video out on my main channel, Amateur Sports, tomorrow. And I'll see you again after game 2 for another post-game show.